Hi, welcome to Snowbetter Lifestyle. If you are new here, my name is Donna. I turned 61 in March. I raised 6 kids, ages 28 to 39 years old. I work full time in tech, remotely, go into the office once a month, and I started on this health journey in November of 2023 and was titrated up to 5 milligrams in February of 2024. And I've lost up to date 80 pounds. So I got on the scale this morning and I am exactly the same. And this is going to be week 3 at exactly the same. And I will be totally upfront with you. I had a little bit of a dispute with my scale. Something is wrong with you. I need to buy a new one. How could I possibly be exactly the same weight 3 weeks in a row, even though I'm drinking the water, eating having the protein, eating everything, keeping within a deficit, calorie deficit? How could I still be 231.0? So then I had been getting a pop-up on my phone, on the app on my phone for the scale that was saying that there was some kind of calibration issue. And so I adjusted that, replaced the batteries, got back on the scale, exactly the same. So there wasn't anything, that really changed that. So okay, there's nothing wrong with my scale. It's just I am in what appears to be a little bit of a stall. I did lose 3.8 pounds like 4 weeks ago, but I didn't lose anything the last 2 weeks and then didn't lose anything this week. So former Donna would have been done. Former Donna would have given up. And we've had this conversation before. Former Donna would have gone, oh, I'm working. It shouldn't feel like you're working too hard, but I've been trying really hard, along with the help of the lack of food noise and the appetite suppressant. I've definitely been able to portion and eat less. And so I was sitting there going, okay, so what do I need to do to shake this up? Because I really want to continue to lose at approximately a pound a week. I'm not looking for more than that because I want to lose the weight in a safe and healthy way. But after I've gone 3 weeks doing the same thing and then not losing anything, I'm trying really hard to be as upbeat and positive as I can be. I know that part of the reason why I'm kind of sort of stuck is that I haven't been exercising at all. I've started and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped so many times. I've tried different things. I was doing Richard Simmons. I've got a treadmill in my room that now has clothes baskets sitting on it. I have my rebounder in my garage, and I have access to YouTube to watch videos. But that is one of the big things for me, and I'm not sure why I haven't got. I got the motivation to start. I really like the Yes to Next videos. I've watched some of the rebounder stuff. I'm a little anxious about doing rebounding because it kind of messes with your insides a little bit when you're bouncing if you're not careful. So I got to be careful with that. Um, the treadmill. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to figure out what do I need to do to motivate myself to get on the treadmill, or to use a rebounder, or to watch a Yes to Next video. I have a basket full of weights in front, right underneath my TV. I see it when I'm sitting in my recliner. I know I'm supposed to be doing it. So I think that that's part of the reason why I may be in a bit of a stall. I've changed a couple things only because I wanted to try some variety. Like last night, I had the turkey burgers on the Dave's Killer Bread hamburger buns, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I had some light mayonnaise and some relish on it, and I had a slice of Colby Jack. I didn't need to eat the whole thing. I ate the whole thing. I felt so beyond full, it was not funny. So, even though I do really well, like when I order in, I'll cut whatever it is that I order in half and stick it in the fridge. For some reason, I felt like I needed to eat that whole burger. And I was not feeling fantastic after that because that was too much food. I could eat half of that and be okay. I had actually grabbed a bag of chips and was going to have a bag of chips, but when I looked at my tracker, I didn't really have enough points to have that and have one of my multiple popsicles that I bought this week. So, I mean, like I said, I'm feeling okay because I know I've lost so much, with 80 plus pounds, and I know I'm doing fine. And I'm excited about being able to go see my mom and hang out with my brother and my sister and having lost the weight that I've lost. But being in a stall and not seeing the progress in numbers was a little rougher than usual for me this week because it was week 3. And I know that I lost, like I said, 3.8 pounds, almost 4 pounds 4 weeks ago. But, so I have to go back and see whether or not that turns out that it's actually a pound a week, but I lost 3.8 before, you know, uh, 4 weeks ago, and then nothing, nothing, nothing. It's no gain. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gaining, but I'm just trying to figure out what do I need to do to trigger back. Next week, am I going to have lost a couple pounds and then be back on track? I don't know. But I'm starting to feel the effects of it potentially being a stall. And I truly do not believe that. And I will talk to my doctor because I do need to do my blood work. I still haven't done it. I'm going to wait till my daughter's coming to visit. I'm going to wait until she uh, heads back home. And then I'm going to go and run to the lab and get some blood work done and just make sure that we're still maintaining in terms of my blood sugar and my blood pressure and everything else. So I will take care of that and figure it out. But in the meantime, whether we feel like I need to titrate up. Because like the whole reason that I went on in the first place was to manage blood pressure, manage blood sugar, and some of the other issues that came along with being morbidly obese. So, you know, I've lost 26% of my weight. Um, I'm down 80 pounds. I feel really good about that, but there's still former Donna in my head going, why in the heck, after you drank all your water, did all your protein, everything else, did you not even lose an ounce? That you didn't go down. You didn't go up, but you didn't go down. So I think the ticket here is going to be trying to get in at least, and I keep saying this, I don't know why it's a challenge. Anybody else have that challenge with the motivation to exercise? I know what I need to do, and the medicine has helped me with the food noise and the appetite suppressant, so I'm eating way, way better than I was eating a little over a year ago. So I'm not concerned about that aspect of my health journey. I'm just worried about getting that exercise in. And why am I struggling to get to start actually exercising? I know what I need to do. What are you doing to make sure that I mean, I work from home. It's not like I need to go anywhere to do the exercise. I get up in the morning, I make myself a cup of coffee. Maybe I'll watch a YouTube video or two, and then I'll go into my office and I'll work for the day. And the only movement I really get is between my office and the coffee maker in my office and the fridge in my office to let the dog out in the backyard, things like that. Um, I just realized I didn't turn my mic on, so I'm going to do that right now in hopes that it's not too bad. Okay. I'm hoping that it's better. Okay, so my apologies. I forgot to connect the mic. So the first part of this is going to be I'm going to have to tweak it in post processing. All right, so I went and I real quick asked ChatGPT about what a stall actually is, because some people think they're in a stall when they're not really in a stall yet. So when is a lack of weight loss considered a stall? A weight loss stall, often called a plateau, is typically defined as of 2 to 4 weeks, so I've been on 3 weeks, of no change on the scale despite consistent effort with your nutrition, exercise, and habits. So I feel like nutrition and habits has been good. Exercise, not so much. So I'm not going to call this a stall yet until I try actually following through on the exercise aspect. So that means you're still tracking or eating within your usual calorie range. I've been in a calorie deficit for gosh knows how long, for months. You haven't changed your activity level or routine significantly. So I'm just saying, not exercising, not exercising. There's no increase in water retention, stress, illness, or hormonal fluctuation that might explain it. As I mentioned before, postmenopausal, if I'm not taking my meds, I do have a lot of swelling in my legs and things like that. I do have a lot of inflammation when I'm not on Mounjaro, but I'm not having that so much anymore. If it's just been a few days or even a week, that's usually normal fluctuation, not a true stall. Bodies can retain water, especially after high sodium meals, intense workouts, or hormonal shifts. Okay, so, and I'm going to read this off to you, and then I'm going to put like a little slide that you can pause so you can take a look at it, just to get a feel, because some of us think we're in a stall if we don't lose within a week, right? Like 1 week we lose and the next week we don't. And that's not true. And up to this point, I haven't had any concerns about whether or not I was in a stall. I always felt like I was okay, but we're going on 3 weeks. It is 3 weeks that I've been exactly the same weight, save maybe point something. So, yeah, and universe, I was joking. I really don't want to stay here because I mentioned last week I'd be okay with staying here. And yes and no, I just feel like I have the potential for being smaller because I've been there. So, anyways, oftentimes when I do this, when I go and I check with ChatGPT or try to get some information, it doesn't mean that I've tried this stuff yet. I'm doing this so that I can go back and look at what I said or what the solutions were that was recommended, and then I will try it and I will let you know, hey, I started exercising this week. That helped me to lose a pound, when I was in a bit of a stall. So I want to read these off to you, and then I will let you know next week and the next week after that if making any of these slight changes are going to make a difference. Plus, we're going to have lab work to work with as well and determine whether 5 milligrams is still. I mean, I feel like 5 milligrams is fine. And I would rather work with this at a more natural level if possible. Because I feel like it does still um, suppress the food noise and it's still an appetite suppressant for me. But there's something I need to do to trigger it to go into the next. I have noticed there were people that were past 60 weeks and had lost over, a quarter of their weight that tend to, have a little bit more of a struggle. So, not saying it's not doable anymore. That, as soon as I'm done this, I'm going to take my 5 milligrams for the week and I'm going to try to increase um, my exercise this week. And I keep saying that. I don't know. What do I need to do? Maybe I need to tell who, Alexa, to remind me to get up and do something because it's so. All right. So, how to break through a weight loss stall. If the scale hasn't moved in 2 to 4 weeks and you've been consistent, here are some gentle ways to nudge things forward. I think trying to get through the stall versus just titrating up is the best way to do it, is the best process. But that's just for me. Everybody's different. Maybe it really truly isn't working. So go ahead and titrate up. That's between you and your doctor, and it's your body and your decision. But for me, I want to stay here as long as humanly possible, as long as possible, and make changes to everything else surrounding because it's still working. But I miss it. You have to take this and do the other things as well. The cat, taking care of managing your calories, managing your protein, managing all those things, and then the exercise is part of it. And I have not been doing well on that. I have tried it and stopped, tried it and stopped. I've had a whole week where I did it religiously a couple times in the 63 weeks that I have been on 5 milligrams. So there is something that is stopping me. And is it sheer laziness? Is it sheer, just not being in the habit? I'm in the habit now of drinking three things of water, 3 40-ounce cups of water every day. I'm in the habit of having a high protein breakfast. I was never a breakfast person. I had 6 kids in 12 years. I had morning sickness like you would not believe. So breakfast for me, oh, that was a really hard one to change, but I do that now so that it keeps me going from, I don't think about food, and this helps, medicine helps, but I don't think about food and I'm not hungry until late, like mid-afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I start thinking, oh, I need to eat something, I need to get some more protein in or whatever. And that was a big thing that I needed to change. Okay, so going back. What it suggests is to reassess your tracking. Even small underestimates can add up. Try logging your meals for a few days to double check portion sizes, snacks, or drinks that might be sneaking in more calories than expected. I know that there are some out there that don't track at all, and that's fine. But if you're stalled, it might make sense to just do it for a couple days. Do it, just get an overall feel. Because I know when I had first started on Weight Watchers like a decade or so ago, and we were doing, the Weight Watchers points and everything. I was 300 and something pounds, and I like to go to Target. I was a Target that was within walking distance of my place. So when I went to Target, I liked those the pasta bowl thingies that you could get at Target. I don't know if they do that anymore. But those were like my entire like a day and a half of Weight Watchers points. And and I had a couple other instances where there were things that I was eating at that point in time in my life that I went back and I checked and went, "Ooh, holy cow, this one is like 20 points." Or this item that I like to eat like an entire like muffins, chocolate muffins, the big giant ones, the jumbo, massive amount of Weight Watchers points, massive amounts of sugar. So I think that if you're having issues, and this is just coming from my experience, everybody's different, but if you are truly stalled, it's been a few weeks, you're not losing any weight, then, maybe you need to take a couple days and track everything for 2 or 3 days and just make sure that that item that you're eating every day that, is not much higher in terms of calories than you thought. So I mean, again, I'm not saying if you're not someone who tracks that you have to track now, but I think it would help to reassess it if you're stuck. And that's just from my own experience. And I think that the reason I'm having trouble is because of my movement or my lack of movement. Um, so that was number one. Number two, change up your movement. Okay. Your body can adapt. If you've been walking daily, try adding light strength training, intervals, or a different activity to challenge new muscles and boost metabolism. So that's what I'm going to do. I believe, because I have been so religious in tracking, that I am doing okay in what I'm eating every week. I should say every day, that's been okay. Even when I try new things that I'm not used to, like, the turkey burgers and the Dave's Killer Bread, whatever, which turned out to be a lot more calories that I was personally comfortable with. But like I said, I ate the whole thing. I think if I eat half of that and a bag of protein chips, then that would be fine. I could have the other half for lunch the next day kind of thing, because it was almost 500 calories for that turkey burger with the bun and everything, which is fine. But I think my biggest concern was that I ate the entire thing, even though I really didn't have enough room for the entire thing. That makes sense? I was not, for the first time in a long time, I was not comfortable after I ate. So I'm trying to watch that kind of thing. But yeah. Um so it might boost your metabolism just starting to move. And I think that's one of the things. Now that I'm 80 pounds down, I've got about 50 to go. Um, I really, really have to buckle down, especially on the strength training. I plan on getting, I'm going to try that DEXA scan, but I think I'm going to wait until I hit 199, which is like 32 pounds from now. And I'll go get a DEXA scan just to make sure that I'm doing okay with muscles related to skeleton, related to fat, etc. So I will be doing that, but not till I get to 199. Um, okay, so change up your movement. I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth. I'm going to put a thing at the end, like a little slide, so you can copy that or screenshot it or whatever if you want to follow that. Okay, so change up your movement is number 2. Number 3, prioritize sleep and stress reduction. Lack of sleep and high cortisol, stress hormone, can cause both water retention and slow fat loss. More rest can equal better results. We talked about this a little bit last week, that I was having issues with sleep and some stress and because of the work stuff. And I'm not sure that that's what's causing my not dropping, not losing the weight. But sleep is really important. And a lot of times, especially those of us who are still parents, I no longer have kids at home. I can sleep if I want to. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about a baby in the next room or a young child or anything else. I have a dog. That's the extent of it, so I should be able to get the rest that I need in order to be healthy, and I'm still struggling some. So that's one of the things that I'm going to work on to try and improve. I'm on my phone all the time. If I'm not on the computer, I'm on my phone or I'm watching TV. So I pulled out my Kindle, and I'm going to try to do like a no TV for an hour before bed kind of thing. I'm usually dropping by 8 to 9 a.m. because I get up at 5. And so, I'm going to try and do less screens an hour before bed to try and help me actually get some restful sleep. So that's one of the things I'm going to work on personally. So if you're getting great sleep and not having issues with that, and you live a stress-free life, then, it's not something you need to concern. All right. So we've talked about this multiple times because it always comes up, and that's increasing your non-scale victories. Shifting your focus helps with motivation. Look at things like clothes fitting better, more energy, less joint pain, better mood or sleep. Progress is happening even when the scale is silent. And again, we've talked about this quite a few times because it is what keeps me going. Seeing the old pictures, getting rid of clothes that no longer fit me. I can't fit into, I mean, I could, but they're dragging. 24s and 26s don't fit. I did put on my size 20 jeans that I got about a month ago, and I got them from Dia and Co, I think. And when I got them, I could not zip. I could button, but I had to lay down to zip it. I don't have to do that, but they still feel a little tight because there's no stretch. So, excuse me. So, there's an improvement there, even if it's small. I can stand and zip instead of laying down and zip. And I'm hoping I'll get to the point where I don't even have to worry about that. So just little things like that. Just small improvements will help. Um, Now, the last thing that it recommends is to take a diet break. Sometimes eating at maintenance for 1 to 2 weeks helps reset stress, hormones, and even motivation. It's not giving up, it's giving your body a breather. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this because I'll be honest with you, I'm afraid. First of all, the medicine definitely um, manages my appetite. So I don't even know that I could eat as much as they say I should eat at maintenance. So I'm not sure that I'm going to try that one first. I mean, if that's what you're feeling, if you I've been in a deficit for months, maybe being in a deficit, my body's gone, okay, you're done. Now you have to do something else. So the first thing I'm going to try, I think, is increase my exercise. I mean, I really need to. And there's a lot of things I don't have any issues with tackling um, at work and all other aspects of my life. But for some reason, I cannot get on board with the exercise. Maybe I just need to turn on ALEXA and have her play 80s music and then dance to it. Or find something that's not so regimented for me to get some exercise because I have a real issue with remembering to turn on a YouTube video and following it. Or yeah, so that's the big thing for me. So yeah, 3 weeks, same weight. But I have to remind myself I've lost 26% of my body weight. I've lost 80 to 82 pounds, depending on what week it is. And I've dropped from size 26, 28 to 20, 22, depending on whether there's elastic or not in it. So, yeah, it's been a good week. I'm looking forward to my daughter. She's going to be here this afternoon, sometime this afternoon. But I wanted to make sure I got on. I will put a real quick slideshow. Well, not slideshow, but just like a real quick thing with all these points that I just brought up about what to do when you're in a stall. I am not an expert. I haven't ever felt like I was in a stall for the last 16 weeks, but this last 3 weeks has made me think maybe I need to shake something up. So let me know what you've done if you've gotten to the point where you've lost a significant amount of weight on one of these, on a GLP-1, and what you did to shake it up. That's feasible. Keep in mind, I don't drive, so I'm not going to be going to the gym. It has to be something that's around here. I don't walk around here because we do have coyotes. So I worry that I'm going to be the old lady that gets attacked. So I'm a little bit of anxious about that. But there are other things that I can do around here, or maybe events that I can, go to help me get a little bit of exercise in. I know it's not that difficult, and don't have to do that much. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to be a good weekend. And I will talk to you guys next week. And don't forget to go take a look at my grocery haul. I put a grocery haul up yesterday. I will also post it right here. You guys want to go take a look at what I bought this week and what I tried. And I will see you next week. And let's see, maybe if it's the same next week, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm 231.0, I already checked. I put new batteries in the scale. I yelled at the scale. And, if it's 231 again next week, we might have to have I might have to figure out what I'm going to do. But I haven't got my blood work done yet, but I'll get my blood work done and we'll try to figure out what's going on. If for some reason I wind up at exactly the same weight next week. All right. I love you guys. Have a great one. Don't forget to hit like on the way out. And I will see you next Saturday. Bye bye.